Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with some bad habits. Bye, bye. Let's get to the intro. Welcome back to the Gunners Collective TV. And if you have not already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. And I appreciate all the support, man. I'm very humbled by it. So, hey, dispensan la tira. Con permiso en la tira. Hey, Mr. Cartoon 53. Orale, hey, Keyway, can you shoot your line down? I have a direct message for you. Okay? We're going to kick it off like this. I've been seeing these videos made by these black content creators, not all of them, but a few of them, right? And I hate using the word black. I hate describing a man by a color because we're all men. Color shouldn't play into it, right? Ethnicity, race, none of that should play into it. We should always be proud of where we come from and who we are and the path we have taken, regardless of it was an impoverished path, if it was a gangbanging path. It's not where we were, it's where we are, right? How just that. You know, I've seen several content creators of what would be described as brothers, right? We'll say brothers, man. I like using that word better because I've always been with black and brown unity. That's been one of my biggest pushes in life. I guess coming from Northern California, that's one of our things, right? We pushed that. We were taught that. We were educated enough to understand, man, that we all go through some shit. Whose shit stinks more doesn't matter. It's all shit, right? Remember that. So the brothers, right? Several of them have made content ever since this whole ICE thing started, ever since the raza was put in a position, you know, to be looked at differently, to be persecuted, to be oppressed, to be slandered, you know. And a lot of these content creators I see are like, it's your turn. It's your guys' time in life to be oppressed. It's your guys' time. Like we haven't been oppressed already. Like we don't live in the same neighborhoods, on the same EBT, going to the same GR office, going through the same prejudices that everyone else does, right? But this is what's out there. And some of these brothers were able to find a lane voicing their opinion in the negative, right? And it's crazy because I've always been of the understanding that the black and brown communities go through some shit together. We might not fight hand in hand. There might be certain cities, certain states where they don't get along because they don't take the time to sit down and understand each other and converse like they should. But there's always been that underlying saying that if the black and brown communities came together, ooh, man, they could not be stopped. But before, and only before, conversations need to be had. They need to be had in essay, right? Community leaders need to get together and realize, hey, man, we go through a lot of the same prejudices. We go through a lot of the same turmoils. Maybe, just maybe, you know, we should fight together and stand together rather than tear each other down. You know, it's been going on for decades. Let's talk about Southern California. In Southern California, yes, there was issues between the Southern raza, Southsiders, Chicanos, Mexicans from down south, and blacks. That was in the 90s. That all stemmed from gang-related issues, prison issues, things of that nature. And yes, there was bloodshed. There was a lot of bloodshed. There was a lot of back and forth. Who started it? Why they started it? Shouldn't even matter. Once someone gets bopped, let's go, right? That's all that should have mattered. Now, at the same time, I know that a lot of people that lived through them wars, that lived through that black and Mexican, I guess whatever you want to call it, discrepancy, right? And it's even more than that when people lost their lives. But they want to play the blame game. The Mexicans are going to say the brothers started it. The brothers are going to say the Mexicans started it. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, man, it's part of the life. When you're living that gang banging life and you're part of a hood or a barrio, you're supposed to be against everyone, literally. Your hood and your hood only. Doesn't matter about the color of someone's skin. Doesn't matter about their culture. Doesn't matter about the next street over. All that matters is you hold it down for you and yours, right? In fact, when you're a gang member, your gang is supposed to come before your ethnicity, before your family, before your fucking childhood friends. Hey, if you're not from my neighborhood, then you're against my neighborhood. That's the philosophy. That's the way I was taught. And I've seen a lot of that going on down south. Now in Northern California, don't get it twisted. Don't act like, black and browns were just kumbaya and holding hands and being cool like that. There was a lot of back and forth as well, which I thought was frivolous. My neighborhood went at it with the Merced Gangster Crips for decades, right? I don't know where it started, but I know where it ended, right? And that's just the facts. Now, I have a lot of respect for black content creators or brothers, right? Chill. We've had our little thing, but I got a lot of respect for that man. Some of the things he said, I don't agree with, just like he don't agree with some of the things I said, but that doesn't take away the respect I have for him. Cartoon 5-3, and this is who the direct message is aimed at, because I seen he's been going back and forth with Dubs. Not really a back and forth thing, but they both expressed how they felt. And then I see Cartoon double backed with another video, right? I see it. I don't understand it, but I see it. And I'm going to tell you what parts I don't understand and what parts I realized were just propaganda and set to cause tension. It just is what it is. There was an issue a couple years ago, man, and Cartoon voiced his opinion on it, and I did. And somehow, some way, a lot of the haters and trolls got into the mix, man, and started pumping Cartoon side up, started pumping my side up. Oh, you guys need to do a video yet. Oh, you guys need to converse about it. So we did. Somehow, some way, we got each other's number. We chopped it up. We went live and direct. And we both put out there our opinions on the subject and the situation. And it was a great conversation, man. We had a good live. It was good to finally meet Cartoon, not personally, but over the airwaves on camera. And I picked his brain and he picked mine, man. And it was just a good thing. It's always a good thing when two people of different ethnicities could sit down that come from two different backgrounds, not really, but similar backgrounds, but different areas, right? Different geographical areas. But different cultures, different lifestyles, different things, and have a good conversation and realize, man, at the end of the day, when you erase all the EBT, when you erase all the gangs, when you erase all the stabbings and the shootings and the maimings and the fightings and the burnings and the lootings and all that, we're just human. We're just people, right? And we could do a lot more good for each other's culture and for each other's peoples rather than doing bad. Bad only lasts a little while. Bad got a short shelf life. Yes, it does, brother, just like meth. It got a short shelf life, right? You do bad and people are like, damn, did you hear about that shooting? And then 2 weeks later, you don't care about it anymore. That person's locked up, the other person's dead, and c'est la vie, we push, right? But when you do good, it has an impact. It's long lasting. It continues to grow. The more people expand upon it, the more it grows. Now with Cartoon, I have a lot of respect for that man, and I gained a lot of respect having that conversation. But it seems to me, and this is just my opinion, no disrespect towards Cartoon, but it seems to me like he got on this train of hate, this train of putting down another ethnicity, specifically the Mexicans, the raza, and I don't get where it's coming from. I understand you get views. I understand you gain attention and subscribers, but this YouTube shit is YouTube shit, man. None of it really matters in real life when you're a man that stands on your 10 and stands on your convictions, right? A man that recognizes and realizes coming from that life. And I know Cartoon came from that life. He's certified, verified in the streets, man. The Crippin' game was real. I'm going to say allegedly for federal purposes. You know what I mean? We don't want them involved, but there's no doubt that he's an OG in his neighborhood. There's no doubt that he was in prison, that he did what he says he done. I won't deny nor question that. I don't question another man what he did or didn't do unless I know him to be a poop butt liar. In Cartoon's case, I don't know that. So I'm not going to call that out, right? But I will say, I'm pretty shocked. I'm pretty shocked that, as a grown man, an OG from a neighborhood, a well-respected neighborhood, shout out to the Avalons, man, because I've done time with them guys in the youth authority and prison, and they carry themselves with respect, right? A lot of key ways, man, we're with the shit. And I want to say that as a man in his position, it seems like he would be trying to do better for the black and brown community and for everybody rather than tear each other down. Yeah, we've been through wars. Yeah, people have fought. Yeah, people have fucking talked shit about each other, but you have to be a bigger man than that when you're in a position to play. Okay, when you stand on, oh, I hate these guys, or I don't like these guys, or these guys are this or that, then you at that point, man, are becoming a problem. You're becoming an issue. You know, you can't blame other people for everything bad about what you got going on. You can't hate other people and say it's your turn now to be oppressed. It's your turn to get fucking hurt, for your families and your friends to be torn apart or your community to be burnt down. No, I distinctly remember during the Rodney King riots, man, there was a lot of brown people out there assisting them black men. There was a lot of brown people in them communities out there, man, right alongside of them black men doing their thing. So to sit there and say that black and brown have always been odds, that the Mexicans are racist against blacks, man, it goes both ways, bro. There are racist individuals. Yes, there are. That we can't stop that. Those of us that don't agree with it, we can't stop it. We can voice our opinion. We can say how it's bullshit. We could talk about how it's just furthering a certain group's hatred. But at the end of the day, man, let's not act cartoon like the brothers are just cool and they just love peace and love for everyone, because you seem fired up and you seem to have a hatred in your heart. So I know there's a lot of other people that do. I myself cannot say that I do, man. You know, there's a lot of videos that I could have made in the past that would shed a bad light on the black community in prison, right? Things that I've seen that were considered cowardly acts. Things that I've seen in my own people that were considered cowardly acts. When I talk about my people, I'll say it. I'll put it out there. Because at the end of the day, I don't come from a long line of cowards. My people are fucking warriors. Just like the black people are warriors, right? I know this, but I'm willing, because it's my gente, it's my raza, to put our flaws as well as our victories out there. In the black case, right? I don't speak ill about the brothers or put them in compromising or bad positions, even though I've seen several, man, to be honest. I see some shit that'll blow your mind, right? And I know you have too, cartoon. Let's not act like everything that just our people do is perfect, because we hurt our people more than anyone else does. There's more brown people hurting brown people and more black people hurting black people than anybody on earth. And that's the fucking facts and the truth. You don't believe me? King Von never killed a Mexican, but he sure killed a whole lot of blacks, right? You know what I'm saying? It's and the same thing with a lot of fucking Mexicans. You see removals in prison, stabbings, people get knives shoved in their face, and it's all by each other. It's by people that look just like you. So before we start race wars and race baiting and Mexicans versus blacks and all that, man, can you name the time that besides fucking this little stabbing on Tory Lanez, that Mexicans and blacks have got up and full-blown riots with each other? The last time there was ever something like that was in Pelican Bay in the 2000s, bro, the early 2000s. You know, it's not, and maybe back in your days, cartoon, maybe black and brown had issues a little bit more, but in my time, man, yeah, there was some issues with Southsiders and blacks. There was a thing in Souzaville. There was a couple other little incidences, but it's never that serious, man, because men have respect for men regardless of their pigmentation. That's it. But going back to where I could have talked ill and said bad things about brothers in prison, all that, I chose not to, because every time I do, someone comes out and says that, oh, that's racial. They start playing the victim role. State Ralph Tresvant, need a man with sensitivity. They get sensitive. And when I say they, I don't mean one whole group. I mean that particular individual gets sensitive. Why you got to talk about the brothers like that? Why you got to talk about the woods like that? Why you got to talk? Why don't you shut the fuck up, bro, and listen to the story before you comment? That's my thing, right? Not everybody wins them all. Not everyone loses them all. You know, that position of saying it takes 30 Mexicans to beat one black, or it takes this to do, man, all it takes is two guys with a knife on the yard stabbing the shit out of each other, and both of them are getting hurt, right? Who cares, though? It's not a fucking competition or who can kill more. We're supposed to be helping the youth and setting an example by being able to converse and blend cultures and have love for each other and make a better environment for the children and for the people that are behind us coming up, for our families, rather than, oh, you can't beat us, you can't kill more than us, you can't do this, y'all cowards, this, that. No, the only coward is the one saying that. That's just honestly the truth, man. If you can't go out there and handle your business like a man by yourself, but you need to impress upon others to be destructive and take penitentiary chances and do that, then you're a fucking coward. And I'm not directing that at anyone personally. I'm just saying, if you can't handle your own fucking business and you need other people to do it for you, then you're a coward. Right? You're a coward if you're out there spitting that propaganda. Now, if you're living the gang lifestyle and there's different levels to that shit, don't get it misconstrued and try to fucking cross me out, because I ain't disrespecting no one. If you're a gang member and you've pledged yourself to that and there's a hierarchy, well, you best do what they say. That doesn't put them in a cowardice position. That puts them in a position that you've put them in. So they have every right to dictate that program. But I'm talking about the average everyday man. You know, the guy that will sit here on YouTube and talk about other people of other ethnicities and downplay their contribution to life and basically say like they're nothing. They ain't shit. Good. I'm glad they're getting deported. This, and that. Where's the hatred coming from? Is it for views or clicks? What is it? Now, Cartoon. I thought better of Cartoon. When I seen some of the things he said in this last video, I tripped out, right? Because I'm like, wow. You know, if you're going to go back and forth in a debate with a man, right? And in this case, he's going back and forth with Dubs, the homie, right? And I'm not taking Dub's side just because he's my friend. I'm being straight down the book right here, straight down, because I got respect for you, Cartoon. But if you're going to go at someone, you got to come with facts, bro. You know, you can't use your underlying hate and racial hatred towards Mexicans to describe that man and his videos. When you're saying, oh, man, he's done a million videos talking about stabbing blacks, I've never seen him. Never in my life, man. You know, it seems like every 3-4 months, man, this shit comes up. Oh, Dubs is a racist. Anytime that he questions or tells a story or doesn't agree with the brother, man, then he's racist. I don't agree with the motherfucking brothers all the time. Am I racist? Hell no. Right? Sasuke, fuck DJ Quick. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he got a couple good songs, but I'm not going to say, fuck him. I don't like all his music. Right? Does that make me racist? Nah, that makes me anti-DJ Quick. Not even that. I just don't like fucking a couple of his fucking songs when he had a perm and he was wearing a flowery shirt. But that's just me. Right? People need to stop that already. Playing the fucking victim. It looks rather sensitive. It looks emotional when you play the victim. It does, man. You got to be proud of your fucking people. Ain't nothing wrong with being proud of your people. But to disrespect someone else to try to prove a point, nah. That's bullshit, right? I seen another thing that Cartoon said when he's talking about, oh, you know, of course Dubs is mad. He comes from a long line of people that sell corn, or the elote man. What the fuck? Right? Women, damn, Dubs hooked me up with a fucking vasito of fucking elote. Man, some esquite. I'll take some esquite with tajin, a little chamoy on the side just for the fucking content purposes. Little crema, boom, I'm good, man. If I knew Dubs had the hookup, shit, what's up? Shit, I'll take fucking esquite all day. Preferably the biggest big gold cup that you can get at 7-Eleven. Tell your familia, fill it up, right? Come on, man. Why does every Mexican have to have corn man or palateros or ice cream man or fucking people that sell oranges in their family? Why do you stereotype people? Okay? It's ridiculous, man. The racial hatred that's being spewed, and every time and it's like we're in a position where we can't clap back, because if I said something back to Cartoon that was derogatory or stereotypical, then oh my God, I'd get reported. People would hate. I'm not saying Cartoon would do that. I'm just saying people would go crazy. Gunner's being racist. But I could be the Home Depot guy. Dubs could be the fucking palatero. We could be the fucking guy selling oranges. We could be, you know, stereotypical stuff, which really isn't disrespect at the end of the day, because our people are hard workers. The raza are hard workers. Okay. The black and brown communities are going through a lot all the time. And these type of individuals that spew this hatred, they're helping the white man, brother. And shout out to the white man. It's not always their fault, right? We'll just say you're helping the man, right? you are helping whoever's oppressing, which I believe this is the have and have nots. This ain't about white, black, brown, none of that anymore. It's more about the haves and the have nots, right? You're fucking helping the haves, man, to continue to create have nots, or to continue to hold the have nots down. When you say, oh, it's your guys' turn, why are you so happy that anyone has a turn on being oppressed? The whole thing in life is that nobody fucking gets oppressed, that we all get to shine. There's enough for everyone to eat. Cartoon, I'm rather fucking, it's making me relook at you, bro. Like, why? Why are you doing this? You ain't never been like that, bro. You're an OG correct. I respect it, bro. I respect your neighborhood. I respect your get down. But this I cannot respect, bro. This I have to say, you're talking out of your fucking ass, bro. Just being real. Take it how you want to take it, but listen to the context of it, right? You got to understand that not every Mexican, South Sider, North Sider hates blacks, and not every black hates Mexicans, right? You know, to try to stir that controversy. Oh man, let's keep it real. All essays, not all essays hate. There are some neighborhoods, yeah, that go back and forth. Yes, there is. There's some places in Long Beach where the blacks and the browns don't get along. There's some places in Merced on a certain side of town where the blacks and the Mexicans don't get along. That doesn't mean, you know what that means? I'm gonna tell you what it means. It means the people that are involved with that, they have their reasons. Doesn't mean everyone has to agree with them. There ain't no way. I don't give a fuck where I'm at. If a Mexican dude tells me, oh, we don't like blacks, I'm gonna say, who's we? Motherfucker, we stopped being we at black, right? I'm cool. I grew up as a young kid, man. I had 4 friends, my 4 best friends when I was little. 2 of them were, 3 of them were white, and 1 of them was black. We had 1 black, though. There was 1 black, 1 Mexican, and 3 white dudes, right? And we were all good friends. And I remember when the Mexicans came up to me, hey, bro, why are you hanging around with those whites and the black? I said, those are my friends, right? Yeah, but we don't. Who's we, motherfucker? I do. Shit, right? Those are my homies. We played fucking Super Mario Brothers, right? And the moral of the story is, man, when we continue to spew hatred, whether it's for views or whatever, or because that's what you really believe, that's cool. But when you disrespect other people, you know, for views and all that, that's a cowardice act, man. That's just, there's no other way to put it. So my message to Cartoon is this, man. If you're going to stand on facts and be real, look, bro, I'm from Northern California. I understand, homie, that the South and the blacks have been put in a box where you think the Southsiders and the blacks hate each other. And yes, there has been some shit. Yes, there has. But it's different now. Things have changed. You know, things have changed, man. You see a lot of black and brown people doing music videos together, doing concerts together, doing business together. Things have changed. You know, you're like celebrating the fact that families are getting separated. You're celebrating the fact that, you know, the Mexicans are getting oppressed. You're celebrating that fact. Oh, it's your guys' turn. It's your turn. When has a black ever been taken from their home, bro? But don't, we're not going to go back to the Africa stuff, man. We're not going to go back to all that. I don't want to go to that. You know, I don't want to talk about hundreds of years ago and people being played, because every single ethnicity in the whole world has been a slave at some point in time to somebody. Every group. You guys were just the last ones, bro. And it doesn't make anybody's worse than yours or yours worse than anybody. It's bad all the way around. I don't believe in the bullshit, man. But, you know, when I'm saying, whenever you've ever been someone come to a black American, and that's what you are, my brother. You know what I'm saying? You're not African American, you're black American, right? When does someone come to your pad or knocked on your door or come to your work or whatever and snatch you up and deported you? Where are they going to deport you to? South Central? You know what I mean? Hey, come on. The thing is, you understand, I'm the last person people would think would be talking about this, because I'm a believer in law and crime is crime and all that. And I don't want to get too technical because then people start hating me. The fact is this, man, there shouldn't be no black and brown hatred. There are some content creators, and there's some, and don't get it twisted, Cartoon. I'm not just standing for my people, because I'm going to say there are some Mexicans that say some racist shit against blacks too. That's cowardice too. To me, if you don't see the man in front of him right here and can't say nothing, then you a sucker. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive for what I truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. Now, all you haters, go run and tell Cartoon I did this video. Oh, man, he's talking shit. Nah, I'm talking real, man. And Cartoon has Dub's number, and he has my number. You can call me. It ain't nothing.